Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show on this Easter Monday. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Today is Monday, April 10th, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. AI is here to a certain degree. Chat GPT-4. Seemingly you can talk to the computer. Nobody knows out there for sure if it's truly got artificial intelligence with Chat GPT-4 or whether it'll take Chat GPT-5 or Chat GPT-6 or whatever. Some of you have already come in contact with AI, this form of AI, which I think myself is like a fuzzy AI. They're not sure. The top scientists in the world are not sure if this is really something aware inside this chat engine or not. They can't tell. They don't know. But at any rate, they're continuing to develop these and they're making them stronger all the time. And there's such a thing as AI therapy. It has no oversight at this point in time. And let's take a look at this. It says AI is now popping up in every corner of modern life, even in therapy. It says AI technology has been rapidly developing in recent months. And it says, I'm just reading the highlights of this. It says the sites are present with some disclaimers. They are not substitute for a real professional. They cannot diagnose conditions or prescribe medicine. And to please seek emergency help at times of crisis. So people, I guess, are turning to AI now, these chat engines. Maybe if they got a health condition or whatever, they're asking for advice. Or maybe they just want somebody to talk to. You know? It says AI therapy systems often advertise positive statistics proving the effectiveness of their product, but the data is self-reported and the studies are usually conducted internally by the companies themselves. I do know, I tried AI a little bit. I tried one of their artists. And you can enter in, you can type in anything, and it'll draw the picture for you what you type in. And it's absolutely amazing, and is it ever fast. My take on all this is, I think they're advancing closer to an artificial intelligence that is actually consciously aware. But they won't know when they develop it, because they have no way of actually telling for sure if it's conscious or not. As strange as that sounds, even with our science that we have today, they have no way of telling for sure. Because AI can mimic conscious awareness. And it has a learning curve where it can learn how to mimic what we want to see. Anyway, moving on, you got to be careful with the banks right now. The banks are closing customer accounts with little or no explanation. All of a sudden you go in and you say you need, I don't know, lunch. You're hungry. You're just about passing out from nothing to eat. So you go for lunch and you just make it to the restaurant in time. And you go in, you have something good to eat and stuff. And it comes time to pay your bill. And your bank's closed out all your accounts. And the restaurant guy's standing there and he says, how are you going to pay for this, sir? And you're like, my stuff isn't working. I don't carry cash anymore. And they're like, hey, you know what? Pay us, or you're not leaving this restaurant. You got $100 you owe us in food that you just ate. The guy says, well, I got an account, but all my cards aren't working. They just close them out for little or no explanation. Boom, bang, it's gone. You go to use it and it just doesn't work. And this is because they are in trouble themselves. Something like 435 banks right now are having financial difficulty. And what's happening is interbank lending between banks is starting to close down. And if they're not going to lend to the other banks, and they're worried about their partner bank, the bank down the road, one bank's saying, I ain't going to lend to him. He's went and used the discount window. I ain't going to lend to him. He might go under. Are they going to lend to you? If they ain't going to lend to the guy they've been lending to and he ain't going to lend to them. They ain't going to lend to you either. And this is what's happening. Money is sealing up within the system. Banks aren't even lending to one another right now. Because there's a big, ginormous problem in the system right now. And the Fed, they're funding it all. Across the board. What's that going to do to the dollar? So there, what you got is you got one punch. That's a punch to the dollar. To the strength of the dollar. The fact that they're going to soon be monetizing the debt. Wholesale monetizing the debt. What's that going to do to the dollar? That's a one punch. Right? So you got another punch coming. Believe me, the BRICS know all about this. They follow it. They follow it more than I follow it on this channel, and they got a lot more people looking into it. People who have technical ability and can understand these charts, and they got AI, probably AI working for them of some form or another. And so they know what's going on, and they know the timing to come out with their new gold-backed BRICS currency for the second punch. So we got a currency that's backed by nothing, and will soon be worth by nothing. And whether they're going to back their new currency, which is probably going to be a central bank digital currency, theirs is, backed by gold. What we're going to have a central bank digital currency. Yay! And what's it going to be backed by? Nothing. But maybe Bitcoin. So, I mean, okay, yeah, if they use Bitcoin, maybe they're going to use Bitcoin to back our currency. Well, if that does happen, they won't let you have any Bitcoin. They'll do the same thing they did in 1933 when they took the gold away from you. They'll take all the Bitcoin away from you this time. Yeah, they might pay you for it, but what they'll do is they'll buy it. And when it's under this, the same trick, they'll use the same trick they did back in 1930 when they bought the gold. I think they bought it for what, 20 an ounce or something, and then the price went instantly up to 35 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was a scam. They always pull the scam on you guys, and you guys pay for everything. They just put it on your tab. And what's your tab up to now? Well, what is it, 31 trillion or something? 32 trillion? And so what do we got coming due pretty soon here? They're going to have to monetize the debt, and there's soon going to be another 10 trillion on there. So if each individual person in the United States owes, what, 50,000 is it a piece or something? I can't remember what it is. And soon it'll be 100,000 a piece, and they're putting you deeper and deeper and deeper in debt, and they're going to expect more and more and more taxes. And, you know, they say tax the rich, but the rich have loopholes. There's always going to be loopholes for the rich. And the burden is going to fall on the poor and middle class. This is not all of it. The whole ball of wax is not sustainable. It's going to, ultimately, this is the collapse and fall of an empire. It's a collapse and fall of... This could be so bad, ultimately, in a few years from now, it could lead to the collapse of civilization. The end of our civilization. That's what it could lead to. Between wars, and we're doing it to ourselves. It's like a self-inflicted injury. That we're doing it to ourselves. We're destroying the world's financial system, and in doing so, we're going to have wars. It's going to lead to war. Anyway, I'm rambling on a little bit here. So be careful. Your banks are just basically, zip, you're gone. No explanation needed. Now here on this chart, I wanted to show you guys. Do you see these gray bars? Those are recessions. And going all the way back, this goes all the way back to 1970. And you can see there's many recessions, and they come every on a periodic intervals. What you notice about this is we had a recession back in the early 70s, and then in the mid 70s, and the early 80s, and in the early 90s, and you notice a pattern here about every 7 to 10 years or so around there. Well, the last big recession we had was the 2008 debacle. 2009, whatever. This is this big, thick gray bar right here. We had this tiny little sliver here. You almost can't count that, right? But what you notice here is we're so overdue, it's unbelievable. And the second thing I want you to notice here is every time, just before a recession, we get the lowest job numbers. And then it shoots up like a rocket to the moon. Look at the 2008 debacle. Right here. Just before 2010, this one. Can you see how low it was? And see how high it shot up? It can shoot up overnight. So all this stuff Janet Yellen's saying about, we can't have a recession because we got low jobs numbers. It can shoot up overnight. So watch out for that, guys. Silver price today. We see a lot of volatility in the silver numbers today. It's at $24.82 today. Let's refresh the chart. $24.83. It's down 14 cents on the day so far, with almost no silver out there to buy. I mean, they're buying it in scads and they're just scooping it up. And this is just the beginning. This is the early people coming in. The big fish haven't really come in to feed yet on the gold and silver around the world, but they're going to. They're getting so close to it happening now at this point. And they'll feed at any price, and they will gobble up all that's left. There won't even be enough left for industry. Taking a look at the Dow Jones today, it's down 34 points on the day at 33,450 so far today. We're taking a look at crude oil here, and crude oil is 80.65. It's down 5 cents. OPEC is, I guess they're doing cuts right now, but OPEC is the Saudi nations right now. Things are changing rather rapidly right now between relations between countries and the Saudi nations, which provide an awful lot of the world's oil. There's big changes happening right now, is basically what I'm saying. And we're going to see the outcome of these big changes very soon. Taking a look now at bonds and rates. This market is going to absolutely, these bond yields are going to absolutely, at a certain point, you're going to blow through the roof. And this is when you really know you're in the crisis. And this is coming. We're going to have a tremendous, we've been in a 40-year crazy bond market cycle that has seen, I can't see any other way out of this. The government's going to have to take control over the whole entire bond market. But it's their baby anyway. It's all them. This is how they run their Ponzi scheme, is the bonds. And it's all an enormous Ponzi scheme, and it's going to blow up soon. Well, look. We're looking at a U.S. 10-year today at 3.42. It's up 4.3 basis points. And a U.S. 30-year at 3.63. And it looks like it's up 3 basis points today. And the dollar index today is rising at 102.73. So we got a rising dollar today. And being as it's risen that much today, it's risen up from 102, almost a full point, to 102.73. 73% of 1 point, of 1 penny. It's risen today. It's considering risen that much. Silver really hasn't went down that much, and it's starting to rise right now. It's only down 14 cents. Considering how high the dollar's rising today. We seen this phenomenon last week. We actually saw a day when the dollar was rising and silver was rising at the same time. And believe me, I took notice of that. Thank you guys for listening to my show, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. You guys have a great Easter Monday. Bye-bye.